Hello everyone, I am Dr. Bhavna Joshi and I'm taking the subject childhood and growing up. So in this subject today we will study about the stages of moral development given by Lawrence Kohlberg. This topic is in the first unit of childhood and growing up, B.Ed 101. So this is the part one of stages of moral development. We will have part two also of this. Now let's start. So who was Lawrence Kohlberg? Lawrence Kohlberg was born in 1927, grew up in New York and died in January 17, 1987 at the age of 59. Kohlberg was a professor of education and social psychology at Harvard in 1968, and his book on moral development is used by teachers around the world to promote moral reasoning. So he was the one who worked actively in the field of studying the moral development of children. So so, according to Kohlberg, what is moral development? So, moral development is the thinking and reasoning. He said that thinking and reasoning plays an important role in one's moral development. So, as per Kohlberg, it is not that only having moral values from your parents or from your family is important, but your thinking, how you think about a situation, how you reason out in a particular situation is very important for your moral development. He says that the way a child make moral judgment depend on his intellectual level. If the intellectual level is high, the moral judgment will be good. So Kohlberg defined moral development as the development of individual sense of justice. Now how you take, what decision you take in a situation, in a particular situation of fix, whether to do this or to do that, what is right, what is wrong. So the way a person takes the decision as per his or her intellectual level defines the moral development of the person. So Kohlberg gave a few stages of moral development, and he said that movement from one stage to another stage depend on your cognitive abilities. It is not merely that acquiring moral values from your parents, elders, or peer is enough. He said that it is very important you can move from one stage to the other stage of the moral development only when you have your cognitive abilities developed. So so before going to the stages which was given by Lawrence Kohlberg, it is very important to discuss an example, a very famous example for moral development. This is the example which is known as Haynes' dilemma. So it is a story of a woman in Europe who was they diagnosed with a very different kind of cancer and was near to death. So the one and only one medicine, as per the doctor, which could save her life was with one pharmacist, and that person was charging 10 times the cost of that medicine, approximately $2,000. So that too for a very small dose. So hence the sick woman's husband tried to collect money from every end, and he could arrange only half of the amount, approximately $1,000. He requested the pharmacist to lend him the medicine because his wife was really in need of it, and she could die. But pharmacist did not help him, and he said no. So what hence now at this point of time, at this moment of time, what hence could have done? Could he just he could have just let it go. He could have let it go his wife, who was nearing to death because he had no money. Or what moral development says, should he have broken the shop and steal the stole the medicine? What could he have done? So that is the dilemma. What Hens should have done at this point of time? What actually he did was Hens got so distressed that he broke into the farmer's shop to steal the medicine for his wife. So should he get punishment or not? Was he morally, ethically correct in breaking the farmer's shop and stealing the medicine for his wife who was nearing to death? This is Hen's dilemma. Now, how a person should react to such a situation? So, let us study the dilemma, Hen's dilemma, at all the levels of morality which was given by Kohlberg. Kohlberg gave 6 stages of moral development, which you can see on your screen, is divided into basically more prominently 3 stages. The pre-conventional morality stage, which is again divided into stage 1 and stage 2. The conventional morality stage, which is divided into third and fourth stage, respectively. And the last stage, which is the post-conventional stage, which is again divided into fifth and sixth stage. So the first stage, pre-conventional moral stage, as per Kohlberg, starts from the 4 years till the onset of the adolescent. Next, conventional morality stage is from adolescent to young adulthood, and the post-conventional morality stage is purely for adulthood. Now, as I told you earlier also, we will discuss one by one the various stages. As I told you earlier also, that Kohlberg said that moving from one stage to another will depend on the cognitive ability only. So keep this thing in mind. So in this particular lecture, we will be discussing the first 4 stages, and the remaining stages and the educational implication we will be discussing in the next lecture. So let's discuss the first 4 stages. So the first stage, which is the pre-conventional morality stage, under this, the stage 1 is called as the obedience and punishment orientation. At this stage, Kohlberg said that morality is based on the physical punishment that follows an action rather than right or wrong. You know, this is the age group from 4 years, which is starting from 4 years till the adolescent, onset of the adolescent. So at this particular age, morality is based on the physical punishment. You know, the concern is for self. Will I get punishment for doing this? So the child doesn't know, is it ethically right or wrong? What he's associating the right and wrong thing is with the punishment. The good behavior, he said that good behavior is associated with avoiding the punishment. The child says that I'm doing good, I'm doing very good, I'm a good child because I'm not getting punished. So the basic funda in this at this stage is that good behavior is just associated with avoidance of the punishment. So, like for example, the child won't grab the candy at the supermarket for the fear of being slapped by the mother. So the punishment is being slapped. So if the child will say, I am behaving in a very good manner because I'm not grabbing the candy, although I want it, but I'm not grabbing it because of the fear of the being punished. So the stage 1 in, let's take the Hen's dilemma again. So as per this stage, which is the obedience and punishment orientation stage, at this stage, hence what people will say, hence should not steal the medicine because he might be caught and punished, or hence won't go to prison because he was not stealing something big, and more importantly, he asked for it and was ready to pay for it. So at stage 1 in obedience and punishment orientation, one will say, hence should not steal the medicine at this particular stage. Next stage is stage 2, which is called as self-interest orientation. At this point of time, the child is more concerned about himself or herself. The question here arises in the mind of the child is, what's in it for me? If I'm doing this, what I will get back in return? So the action is judged right if it helps in satisfying one's need or involve a fair exchange. So, like for example, mother will say to the child, if you will be quiet at the mall, I will buy you an ice cream. So it is, the interest of the child is ice cream, and the mother just want the child to be quiet and don't be cranky at the mall. So at this stage, the self-interest stage, same, let's take the dilemma, hence dilemma example. So stage 2 will say, hence might steal the medicine to give happiness to his family. Now the interest in this was to give happiness to the family at home by saving his wife. He was saving the life of the wife. The interest was the happiness which he was giving to his family, but he might get sentenced for a long in prison, which he could not stand. Now next is the conventional level. Next level is the conventional level, which says that need of law and society are the defining features. At this level, the child is governed by the law and society. He is more inclined towards the law and society. He is not feeling about, he doesn't care about the punishment. He doesn't care about his selfish interest. What he cares about is the law and the society. So don't steal because it is against the law. That is what the conventional level says. Now, good behavior is motivated to maintain the affection and approval of the friends and relative. Now, what is important at this stage is the approval of friend and relative. Understand that standards are set for the current social system, not getting that there is self-interest involved here. No such thing as good or as bad law exists in the dictionary of the child. What exists here is the law, and law is always correct in the eyes of the child, which is, this age group is from adolescent to the young adulthood. So they understand the current social system, and they are not governed with their selfish interest over here. What they are governed with is only the law. So in this conventional level, now the stage 3 is called as social conformity orientation, which is also called as the good boy and nice girl orientation, as the name only suggests, good boy and nice girl. That means people should live up to the expectation of the family, community, friends, peers, teachers, and behave in a very good way. So good behavior here means having good motive in life. The interpersonal feelings such as love, empathy, and trust and concern for others prevail at this point of time, the stage 3. So like for example, if a person, like for example, if a child is caught cheating, so what he will say or his friends will say, how they will justify the act, that he just wanted to pass the test for this. He was not taking the help of the slip of paper. It doesn't mean he had no knowledge of physics. It's only that it's all about the pressure of the examination. He just wanted to fulfill his parents' expectation. So in this example, you can also see that as I said, at this stage, people live up to the expectation of the family. So family says that you should get good marks. So for that good marks, if the child is taking with him the slip of paper and cheating from it, they are justifying it by saying that I just wanted to fulfill the parents' expectation. There is nothing my self-interest into it. It is only my parents' expectation which is there. So again, talking about the hens dilemma in this stage 3, what people will say, hens was not doing wrong. He was just wanted to save his beloved wife. So it was the pharmacist who overcharged him. He won't get a hard punishment because the judge would not look at all sides of the, the judge will look at all the sides of the situation. So this was stage 3, that is the social conformity orientation. Now comes the stage 4, that is the law and order orientation. At this stage, while stage 3 actions are more concerned with, pleasing your family, stage 4 is more concerned with the society as a whole. Now here the child or the adult, the adolescent and the young adult will obey to the laws, will spend time in obeying law and maintain social order. Like for example, one will say that you should not drink and drive. You are endangering the lives of others on road also. So like for example, again taking the example of cheating, it is wrong to cheat in exam because it is against the rule of the examination in school. So at this fourth stage, when the child reaches this fourth stage, law and order orientation, the main concern is the society. What society says, how society reacts to the situation. Now, again, the hen's dilemma in the stage 4, how, what people will say. They will say, hens should not have stolen because it was against the law. And or if he had to steal, then he must be ready to take the punishment. Otherwise there would be a course in, if everybody chose, if everybody set everybody's own belief. So here the same example, here the child will say that hence should not have stolen it because it is against law. So this stage is totally governed with law and order. So these were the 4 stages given by the Kohlberg. We will be discussing the next 2 stages, remaining 2 stages and the educational development in the next lecture. Hope you understood all the 4 stages of the theory. Thank you very much.